Okay, so let's see. Attempt number, I don't know, 7? I'm not sure. Making videos used to be a lot easier. I had a whole bunch of them. Now they're hard. I just wanted to touch base. Like I said in my first video there, after being gone a while, I wanted to just touch base on the recent September 9th UAP congressional hearing. I just want to give a couple of quotes. I'm giving a massive 30,000-foot version of what it was about. I say, in my opinion, the focus was to protect the whistleblowers and what the whistleblowers are hoping to get from Congress. There's three top things that the whistleblowers are asking for Congress, and I have that here. The witnesses that were on the panel were as follows: Dylan Borland, a former geospatial intelligence specialist for the Air Force; Jeffrey Nicoteli, who is a former retired military police officer; George Knapp, he is an investigative reporter for over 38 years out of Las Vegas, who is like the messiah of reporting on UFOs and close encounters and everything disclosure related. He's the guy. Also, U.S. Navy Senior Chief Petty Officer and current whistleblower, Alejandro Wiggins. And he's the only active whistleblower to date to remain active. He's gotten support from his commanding officers to, in fact, come forward. So he's had actually a lot better luck than some of these people. Dylan Borland, for example, is blackballed. He can't get a job in the intelligence community for anything. His clearance has been stripped away. His family's been threatened. He's been threatened. So it's been a nightmare. Rounding out the panel was Joe Spielberger. He's the senior policy council member at Project of Government Oversight. So in that, in the latest hearings, there were a lot of references to what whistleblowers have been going through. So a lot of the main focus was making sure it's safe for whistleblowers to come forward without repercussions or loss of jobs or loss of clearances and that sort of thing. So that was one of the main focuses. And then also an interesting point that was brought up by one of the task force um, members was Representative Burchett, who brought up the potential for what the government is holding back, why they're holding back, and he believes that once this thing gets exploded on the internet, whoever cracks the code, as he said first, like it's over because it's the energy problem that the world has could disappear. And that trickles down to what? For the economies of the world, I mean, if you think about the world stage, it could really change everything. And are we prepared for that? Well, I say yes, we are. And for what we're not prepared for, we can adjust to and adapt to because we're, not as fragile as a Congresswoman and Chairwoman Luna says. The American people, especially, we're not that fragile. So stop acting like we can't handle it. Just tell us already. She had a good quote. She said, "We've heard from military pilots that the reason for not coming forward publicly is either fear that speaking out would cost them their flight status and potentially their careers. This is unacceptable. We cannot protect our airspaces if our best trained observers are silenced." Spot on. And then she goes on to talk about the uselessness of the former head of Arrow, where whistleblowers were supposed to be making their reports. And when they did, Sean Kilpatrick, the former head of it, was a nightmare. He literally either out and out ignored whistleblowers right out of the gate, never gave it a second thought. But when he released a report, it was like nothing has come out. Nothing's come out that can be, seen as extraterrestrial or, where's the proof or whatever. He was rotten. He's rotten to the core. That's all I have to say about that. And then also Representative Crockett, on the other side of the aisle, on the Democratic side, says the federal government has a responsibility to the American people to investigate and provide transparent disclosure about every incident. every incident. The federal government is also obligated to protect those who report what they've seen, especially to commanding officers and supervisors. Only part about that quote that I don't agree with is I think no matter what rank you are, commanding officer or supervisor, everybody should be treated the same way and protected the same way. So that's just that. Side note, okay, I'm wrapping up. Dylan Borland had a recent. He's called on Weaponize. He was just interviewed by part one of a two-part video from George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell on Weaponize. It's their latest episode, and they talk about how he's the reluctant whistleblower because of everything he's lost. So he was talking about in his incident with a when he was at Langley Air Force Base that uh, he saw and oh gosh, I don't want to get this wrong. So give me 1 second. Oh God, I'll probably get cut off. An equilateral triangle, 90 degrees on all sides, and it had a yellow transparent glow like a lava lamp, kind of like my Paul here, but you can't really see. Paul is named after the movie character Paul. It's an alien movie. Anyway, moving on. Then I watched Debriefed, which is Chris Ramsey's Area 52 channel. I'm actually wearing one of his merches. It's Majestic 12. Anyway, so he was interviewing Travis Walton, and I'm sure you know who Travis Walton is. Fire in the Sky, one of the most incredible experiences of alien abduction ever reported. Well, he described in 1993, so more recently, he was with his family. They were leaving a MUFON meeting, and as they were leaving, they saw a black triangle, equilateral, like he said, it was equal on each side, and a yellow glowing light coming, like a shimmering glowing light coming from below it. Now, I did send Chris Ramsey in a comment that I thought that those two stories were just too ridiculously close, and there's no coincidences. So I know for a fact that Travis probably is a walking beacon for activity. And then I don't know what Dylan. I mean, I think once you have an experience. I mean, I feel like I can go outside my house because I've seen them. They go to the same place in the Lost River, the big Lost River mountain range that's right outside my house in Idaho here. But they you get to a point where you feel like you can almost summon them to come. Like you can ask or just say some, you kind of start talking a little bit or you start thinking about it. And I mentioned in my first video, I've come in tune with some gifts of my own. That's why I have a lot of my new things here. I'm going to be getting more into that as time goes on, but not right now. So I just wanted to touch base, and I wanted to let you know that this whole, disclosure kind of endeavor that everyone seems to be wanting so much from is really just, it needs to just get done. Rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get this over with, and give the American people some credit, give the world people some credit. We don't really have a lot to look forward to these days. So I would say get this out there, and you'd be surprised at how much support you get. And in the meantime, I hope everyone is staying happy and healthy and stay weird. And I'll see you next time. Take good care.